This is a video for lightworkers and priestesses who are on a mission to build a business that is thriving from your gifts. You know that you have something big to build, and you know that your business is your personification of your soul purpose, meaning you are building an empire. You're building a massive community and a massive movement. And so if you are new here, my name is Lily Rae, and I scaled Metamorphosis, my community, to 6 figures in 2024 in our second year of business. 10% of businesses ever make it to 6 figures, and I did it within a year. And this is because I was able to embody a radiant butterfly energy. And so what we're going to be talking about today is how to tell if you're playing within the cocoon, because if you're playing within the cocoon, that means your butterfly wings are not quite out yet. The cocoon is survival energy. This is an energy that's kept you safe, and this is not an energy that we're here to shame or demonize. This is an energy that has been really necessary to get you to where you are now. And within that cocoon, you've been incubating. Your beautiful, radiant, unique butterfly wings have been sprouting themselves from within this cocoon, but now that it's time to let them fly, because this is what's going to fill up your services and really help you to have the impact you're meant to. And you know that you building this empire-sized business and community is what's going to scratch that deep soul itch that you have. And so I cannot wait to give you these pieces that are going to help you understand where it is that you can shift out of the cocoon and out of cocoon thinking into thrival energy. So from survival to thrival. Because my mission in the Metamorphosis community is to see as many thriving priestesses and lightworkers as humanly possible, because that means that we're moving the world more into love-based versus fear-based. So that being said, how to tell if you're in the cocoon? And this, I'm going to start off with one that's pretty big. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you're already making money and all these things, but if you find yourself still sneakily judging sales, marketing, and you're having trouble deciphering the new paradigm sales that you're creating when it's in a soul-centered business versus judging old paradigm sales and mixing it in with your business, this is actually cocoon energy. This is a part of you that is shielding itself. And this misunderstanding is what is holding you back from thrival energy, because it is actually your duty to help walk the right people into your services. And these are people who want, have a nudge to be within your services. So if you're judging these things and you judge sales, or maybe you even judge people talking about money, it's time to look at some of those things. Because if you're finding yourself being super triggered by money, by people talking about large amounts of money, there's probably a part of you that is still shielding yourself. Because in a soul-centered business, you making money is actually a really positive thing, and a thing that you get to do in exchange for your amazing work. You deserve to be spoiled by Sky Daddy, all right? So this is going to keep you within the cocoon. Another way that you could be sneakily playing within the cocoon is if you find yourself having a mental checklist, but then you go to finish your week and you realize you haven't really done all of them, but you kind of make excuses for it, and then you kind of keep doing the same thing. And first off, I want to give you kudos here for action in general, because this path is going to require you to face all your shadows. But if you're not holding yourself accountable for opening your visibility, or you find that it's okay to not be visible, and in the same breath, maybe you're even kind of hiding on your socials, you're not really posting your face, you're not really posting your voice, and maybe if you've been posting, you're not fully posting your full expression. Me saying Sky Daddy would have scared me even a few months ago. Now, I just led a retreat to Egypt, and on the trip, my clients and I were literally laughing the whole time, and we were talking about heart tissies. I was teaching them about tissies. So that being said, if you're not fully being you, this is actually an authenticity piece that is radiant butterfly energy when you unlock it. So if you are not in your fullest visibility in general, and part of that is not taking these actions. For instance, maybe you're supposed to be going live a few times a week. You finishing your checklist in these ways, or at least setting standards for yourself on what to do each day or week, and continuing to make excuses for it instead of, okay, I see that I moved this way this week, and next week I'm going to move this way. That's cocoon energy. It's keeping you safe because there's a part of you that's scared. You're an old soul who is in this lifetime choosing to be super visible in your gifts, when maybe you've even in past lifetimes been killed for this. So I'm not here to shame you, but I'm here to hold you forward because this is an amazing opportunity you have in this lifetime to build a business based off your gifts, and you get to share and show them with the world. So, not a Waterloo ad, but so good. So that being said, visibility, and if you're any way you're holding yourself back from visibility, this is cocoon energy. Another way that you could be in cocoon energy is saying no to the downloads that you're getting to create things. We don't want to always be in create, and we don't want to be, changing our services. And, that's actually cocoon energy. If you find yourself obsessing and changing things instead of, hey, what I got to offer is amazing. We want to, update things as our knowledge gets updated, and it can be good to update wording. But if you're finding yourself either under creating or over creating, is actually honestly a way. I don't want to say it's cocoon energy to over create. But that being said, if you're under creating and not listening to the downloads, for instance, I got a download to do an Egypt retreat within the second year of my business, which is pretty crazy because I actually only landed in my soulmate audience less than a year before that. And I had my first one-on-one clients just months before that. So this was a really ballsy move that the universe called me up into. And instead of putting it off, I said yes. And because I said yes, Metamorphosis scaled to 6 figures. So if you're finding yourself having these pings to create things, and you almost feel as though now is the opportune time to move, and you know that if these continue to move, they're just going to fade out. If you find yourself really passing these things up, and of course, again, nuances here, making sure that it's within your, you're not overdoing things. Maybe you need to bring on more people to help you with things, or maybe if there's limitations in the loans you could take out and all these things, knowing that, yeah, maybe you do need to pace these things out, but not creating these things that you're feeling called to create, it's cocoon energy. Looking online and comparing yourself to other people and then not staying in your lane and moving the way you're meant to, that's cocoon energy. Oh my gosh, I have so many more. I'm about to rattle a bunch off. So another way that you could be staying in cocoon energy is also saying no to investments you're supposed to say yes to. Like, you have the money for that down payment and you're being asked to say yes to that thing. A lot of times I've been in these situations where I barely had the money for the group, let alone rent and all these things. And when I said yes, things exploded. I actually had a moment where my credit card maxed out. Excuse me. And then I got pinged to join a group, and I didn't really have a lot of wiggle room. If this investment didn't work out, I didn't have the most wiggle room. So that being said, I said yes, and then my business exploded. So this isn't a spend money to make money thing. But that being said, if you have skill gaps that you need to close and the universe is picking you towards that and you're not closing them, cocoon energy. You are within the cocoon. Other really sneaky ways that you can be in the cocoon have nothing really to do with your business, although everything's in your business. Are you avoiding conversations with loved ones? Are you avoiding a conversation that's holding you back and holding you in this cocoon energy? Are you struggling to set boundaries with people because you're like, oh, I don't want, it's fine. Are you struggling to let go of friendships? That's something that, if you knew me a few years ago, I completely centered my friendships in my life. And since starting my business and being purpose driven, I felt called to really focus differently. And so I've had to energetically let go of things. Letting go doesn't mean losing, but I had to energetically let go of things that I never thought I would let go of people who I still love to this day. And it doesn't mean that we're not friends. It's just, I've had to kind of energetically let go of the person I was. So are you not wanting to let go of friends who no longer fully fit where you're going? And that's a really hard one that took me months and months and months, if not years, to get to. And what I've learned is, in letting go, I didn't lose them. They're not the forefront of my life anymore, but they're still near and dear to my heart and my life. And so if you are having trouble letting go of the grips on certain things, on experiences, if you're attaching to old habits and parts of yourself, yeah, maybe there's a scrolling habit you have. That's one that I'm always on and off with. And are you really struggling to let this go because it's hiding you in some way? Habits are a huge thing. Conversations, is there air that you need to clear? Is there something in your house that you need to clear up that you haven't been clearing up? This can be cocoon energy in a lot of ways. So how to shift this? We got 10 minutes of cocoon energy, but now I'm going to tell you how to shift this. So shifting cocoon energy, honestly, first off, it's becoming aware of it. First off, doing a scan and being really real with yourself and becoming aware of it, that is one of the first steps to shifting. So you hearing these things, I know, is already giving you a huge, huge means to shift. And so shifting this energy doesn't just take awareness, it takes action. There's usually always an action required to jump this. So for example, I moved into a new house a few months ago and it took me a while to unpack. And, you know, it got to a point where there was this threshold where it was time to do some things. And so instead of putting it off, once I started realizing I was putting it off, I moved it and energy moved. I did some rearranging in my house and a lot shifted. This can be very subtle energetic patterns. This can also be understanding, now that you understand what cocoon versus butterfly energy is, it's looking into the emotional patternings and letting yourself shed and feel those opens. Crack yourself the fuck open. And that's what's going to help you to open into this radiant butterfly energy. A lot of times it's just cracking yourself open by taking the hard action, saying, having hard conversations, setting hard boundaries, having that hard conversation with a parent who's, maybe your patterns together have really, really ingrained things that are holding you back in your business. Maybe it's distancing yourself from a friend who hasn't been very nice to you, but you still love them anyway. So that being said, in what ways and what actions can you take today that are going to help you to transpire this energy, to move through it? And the thing about the cocoon is it's always just being aware. In what ways are you not being in that radiant butterfly energy? Because if you're not in that radiant butterfly energy, your soulmate clients can't see you. If you're not in this energy, your soulmate clients don't know where to find you. Because in that radiant butterfly energy is where you're going to take the actions that are going to attract the people. You got to show your colorful wings, and that's what's going to call them in. And so how can you continue to shift, to open your wings and allow the right people to come in? You're doing this not just for you, because this is how you're going to create true freedom in your life, but it's also how are you going to be the person you need to be for the people you are destined and soul contracted to serve? This is when the magic happens. You get to choose to tap into the magic when you allow yourself to crack open outside of the cocoon. So if you're loving the vibe of this video, I do have a private Telegram community that I'm going to put below. I also have a butterfly effect program that I currently have a few spots open for that is going to help you crack open the cocoon and beyond in over 6 months of support. And this is a 4-figure investment that is a full fuck yes to the universe of, okay, I'm calling in my 6-figure me. So that being said, if you are feeling these things, I am going to put links below. And I hope today gave you a lot of tangible information that is going to help you open up into your radiant butterfly self. I love you.